whispers of the slow dawn. Listen, before the sun lifts its golden eyelid, the countryside breathes, a thin ribbon of mist drifts over emerald paddies, and somewhere beyond the bamboo fence, a rooster threads the hush with a slow, steady call. I step into the morning as if into a soft poem. The earth beneath my bare feet is cool and forgiving. The air carries the scent of wet soil and newly opened jasmine. A bicycle bell rings just once as Mai, with a straw hat tipped low and a face unhurried by time, pedals past. Her laugh is quiet, almost a melody for herself, and when she lifts her hand to greet me, it is not a wave to a stranger, but a welcome home. The village has a rhythm. It doesn't rush, it doesn't shout. It hums like a song older than memory, played on the strings of water and wind. Old Ong Lam at the edge of the field guides his water buffalo with a patient hand, the animal's broad back catching the pale light like a polished stone. The furrow he draws is not just a line in the soil, it is a pathway into a day that will unfold as slowly and beautifully as rice, grain by grain, becoming sustenance. Children race along the footpath, their laughter skipping like pebbles over a pond. Tuan and An hold dragonfly wings in their eyes, wonder in their chests. They chase a kite stitched from newspaper and bamboo, and it rises with stubborn grace into the morning, a small flag of joy against the boundless blue. At the market, voices weave a tapestry of familiar sound. Bahoa tempts with baskets of herbs, coriander, basil mint, each leaf bright with dew. A street vendor ladles steaming pho the broth, deep and soulful, the noodles like long stories, pulled free from the pot. A fisherman arrives with river's silver, eyes crinkled from years of sun, hands steady as the tide. He smiles like someone who has measured his days against water and found the current kind. I sip tea. It tastes of rain remembered. Somewhere a radio plays an old love song, and for a moment the entire village seems to sway. A woman ties her scarf with a motion so practiced it becomes a dance. A man repairs a fence, one nail at a time, the click of hammer soft and rhythmic. A cat decides the shade is more worthy than the chase and settles, tail curled like a comma at the end of this gentle sentence. Noon comes without announcement, only warmth. Shadows retreat into the cool mouths of doorways, and the river slows in its speaking. Even the breeze is respectful. In the kitchen, rice crackles in a clay pot, garlic surrenders to oil, and the fragrance steps out of the house and into the lanes, gathering neighbors by the nose and the heart. Plates clink, chopsticks tap lightly, and stories pass from mouth to mouth. The tire that almost burst, the mango tree that gave 3 more fruits than last year, the letter that finally arrived. Here, news is measured in weather and harvest, in births and handshakes, in the small kindnesses that tether us to one another. Afternoon is a soft page. The fields bring their green to a fuller song, cicadas stitch the air with their bright voices, and the buffalo lies in shallow water, eyes half closed, a monument to trust. Mai sits beneath a tamarind tree and writes. Maybe it is a grocery list, maybe it is a poem, maybe it is simply the names of people she loves. Whatever it is, she traces it slowly, and the paper holds the shape of her care. I walk to the riverbank where boys skip stones and men untangle nets. The light leans, honeyed and forgiving. The water remembers everything and forgives just as much. A paper boat drifts by, carrying the dreams of a child who has never left this village and also somehow wandered the whole world. And then, as if the day has learned to smile, the sky lowers its veil and invites evening. Stoves ignite like tiny constellations. Mothers call their children in with voices that know exactly how far a laugh can travel. The first star pricks the deepening blue, and someone plays a bamboo flute, the notes rising like incense, like prayer, like the breath of ancestors finding their way back to the room. Dinner is simple and perfect. Rice steam lifts like a blessing, fish crisp and tender, greens bright with memory and salt. We eat slowly, we say little, we listen to each other, to the room, to the quiet that means not silence, but fullness. The night carries stories. Old folk sit at doorways, memories rounded and kind. Ong Lam speaks of seasons when rain was a guest, not a flood, and how the buffalo knew the weather before the radio. Children yawn theatrically, pretending they are not tired, eyes wide to catch one more star. Above the roofline, Mars blushes faintly, and someone points as if to introduce us to a new neighbor. The moon knows this place. It rolls over the village like a cool hand on a fevered brow. Shadows return with gentleness. Lanterns sway like thinking thoughts. Somewhere a dog barks twice and then changes its mind. I step into the lane, the dust powdered gold by moonlight, and feel the day gather itself like a shawl around my shoulders. I realize the gift the countryside hands me is not just its beauty, it is permission. Permission to linger, to hear a leaf fall, to choose a smaller ambition, a well-stirred pot, a well-tied knot, a well-timed smile, to remember that slow is not the opposite of alive, it is the truest form of it. We name so many things, careers, houses, plans. Tonight I name this story. Whispers of the slow dawn, because this village speaks softly and still reaches the deepest rooms of the heart. Because morning here is not a starting gun but a gentle invitation. Because between the rooster and the river, the laughter and the tea, between kite string and buffalo horn, I have learned something. Life is not a race, it is a garden. And gardens do not bloom because we hurry them, they bloom because we stay. So stay a while, listen to the kettle, watch the rice. Breathe like the bamboo breathes, let your hands rest, let your eyes soften. Let the day, with all its green and gold, unfold at its own pace. And when you finally lie down, you will not be conquered by time, you will be held by it. And tomorrow, when the mist drifts again, and the rooster calls again, and the sky opens its eyelid to the light, you will remember what the countryside taught you. That peace is not the absence of sound, but the presence of meaning. That a life lived slowly is not empty, but full of the things that matter. And that in the hush between breaths, you can hear the world and also hear yourself.